Hey everybody, what's up? Hadn't streamed in a little bit. As you can see, some of my videos a little jacked up. Yeah, I had a little bit of a computer, not a big computer issue. So if you've been watching for a bit, most of what I run is on a separate computer than what I'm streaming on. It's an older one, and it's running Batocera Linux, and either the newest update or me messing around inside of the cabinet, the case, I mean, has messed something up. And everything works, but I can't play anything higher than 720p for some reason, so I'm trying to diagnose that. It's either the actual OS update, or I was trying to upgrade the memory, but what I had wasn't compatible, so I'm afraid I may have unplugged maybe a GPU power cord and it's running at like half speed or something. So I gotta check that out after I stream. But hey, everything still works. And the new thing going on now, so I have been streaming on Twitch, and of course, right after I made the decision to exclusively stream on Twitch versus, juggling that around, TwitchCon came out and said, or, this Twitch CEO at TwitchCon came out and said, hey, we can multi-stream now. And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. That's cool. But didn't expect that. But hey, now I wasn't planning on streaming on YouTube for a bit, but while I can, I'm going to simul-stream. So I do have the chats merged. So I see Art Dragon and Vocoded Network. They're watching on YouTube, so thanks for tuning in. For right now, I'm going to stream on the Twitch channel, which is Dr. Bad Vibes, and the Dr. Bad Vibes YouTube channel. And if you're not aware, I do have a new channel called Dr. Bad Vibes Speaks, and that's right now I've mainly been cutting up some of the non-gaming footage from the streams and making them a little prettier, putting those up on Dr. Bad Vibes Speaks. But I do plan on making original content, but it's brand new. That's all I'm doing right now. And hey, Neutral 69, I was thinking of buying, this game. Do you think it's worth it? Let's see. Which game? Do you mean Marvel 2? Marvel 2 is definitely, well, yeah, like Vocoded Network saying, it's a hard question to answer. So after Marvel 2 is removed from most of the digital stores, it's hard to find again. I do still have the Dreamcast version. I actually got that day one, and I still have it. I thought I lost it. I actually just found it like within the past month. I've been looking for it for probably close to a year. I've got my collection and my brother's collection. They're kind of mixed together. We generally know where everything is, and I had all my favorite Dreamcast stuff like in one of those zip up CD cases you keep in your car, because that's just what I kept near my Dreamcast. And I've still got, I had the case for Marvel 2, and I'm like, where's the disc? And we tore everything apart, and then it was just on a shelf. It was just behind something. So crisis averted. But hey to the Twitch people as well, Tony Stark, Iron Lady, not Margaret Thatcher, and Bubbles. So it's first time chat. Did you come here from Jen's channel, or did you just find the stream? Let's see. Is 3 like 2 and 1 Marvel? They're all just a little bit different. Personally, for me, 3 is my favorite. And if you're going to buy it, I would recommend getting it for PC, because the modding community is really crazy right now. There's so much cool stuff you could get. And I don't know, let me look while I'm talking. I'm going to pull this up. The thing with Marvel 3 on Steam is that it goes on sale all the time. So it's like, I think you can get the whole. Well, I mean, Ultimate's got all the DLC and everything, so it's usually, I think it's $25 normally. Oh yeah, it looks like it's on sale right now. Yeah, so you can get Marvel 3 on Steam for $7.50. So if you're looking to get it, if you have a, I mean, it doesn't take much of a computer to run it, but Marvel 3 is definitely worth it. And you know, if you want to get into the modding, you got to have the PC version, the Steam version. And I do have a tutorial video on my channel, the YouTube channel, on how to install those. It's a little outdated, but it still works. It's just the source kind of changed. I've got if you want to check that out, I've got it on the channel. I've got a pinned comment explaining what's different, but it does sound like they're about to release something huge that's going to totally change. Probably not the installation method, but it's going to change how awesome the mods are for Marvel 3. What's up, science fiction? How's it going? But once that comes out, I want to play with it. I'm kind of waiting to update my tutorial until that's released because I assume it's going to change things. The game's definitely going to look a lot different, and for the better. But playing Marvel 3, Ultimate Marvel 3, it has some of the same characters. I would definitely check it out. If you like Marvel 1 or Marvel 2, I think you'll like Marvel 3. Some people don't feel the same way, but I'd say the majority of people do. And again, Marvel 3 is my favorite. That's the one I played the most. And hell, even it's a very ugly game, but the more, because I've played it more for the channel, like when Marvel Infinite came out, I kind of just like, I just didn't get into it, kind of tossed it aside. I didn't play online or anything. But as I've played more videos for the channel, I actually like Marvel Infinite. It's different. It's like its own thing. I definitely prefer, Marvel 1, 2, and 3, but on its own, Infinite's cool. It just looks like the characters are kind of ugly looking, but it's a fun game. And I only bring that up because if you do get a PC version, like Marvel 3 is on sale right now. Infinite, it didn't look like it was right now, but when Black Friday rolls around, like, they're almost always on sale at the same time. So you could buy both of them for like, I don't know, $20 or something. I don't remember how much they go for total. But, oh, hey, Bubbles, what's up? So Bubbles, I'm trying to remember the name. Did you come from Jen's channel, or did you just find our stream? See, Vocoded Network. I played Marvel 2 at an arcade in Tacoma. It was a rather nice experience and a good revisit. Yeah, that's one I'll always go back and play if I can find it in the arcade. Kind of rare now. The last time I really remember playing Marvel 2, and Chris, you may have seen this one. I think it was at the Tilt, or I guess it was Tilt, the arcade, the one in I think it was the one in Johnson City. I remember going there once, and they had a head-to-head setup, so they had two arcade cabinets, which that wasn't too. I mean, it was pretty rare for the States. We didn't see that much on the East Coast, but they had a head-to-head setup, but they were in like racing cabinets. So you like sat down inside the cabinet, like where the racing wheel should be, but they had the joysticks in there. It was pretty crazy. That's the last time I remember playing it. I mean, I guess it was still relevant then. I've probably seen it since. So yeah, Neutral. Do you like other fighting games like Street Fighter? Yeah, I love Street Fighter. I've played lots of Street Fighter. Third Strike's probably my favorite. I did play 4 quite a bit. I kind of missed the boat on 5. I played it a little bit, but I just didn't have time to really mess with it. 6, I had been playing, but I've been real life busy, and most of the gaming I've been doing lately has been on stream. It's more of the older stuff, but I do want to get into 6. I haven't touched any of the DLC characters yet. Let's see, vocoded. Disney kind of ruined the Marvel versus Capcom franchise, or did they? Yeah, I think Disney kind of had too much say in a lot of things. I think it showed up a little bit in Ultimate to a degree, not bad. I mean, it's just minor stuff there. I think it was harder for Capcom to get the Marvel characters they wanted, but definitely Infinite. They wanted it to look like the movies, which resulted in a very ugly game, and then they were having their little feud with Fox at the time, so we didn't get any X-Men characters. So yeah, they kind of tanked the franchise. So I'm hoping somebody at Capcom and Disney is paying attention to the modding community. I mean, the amount of mods that have come out and the excitement around them show that people still want to play these Marvel games. So freaking make another one. Just make Marvel 4 and pretend Infinite didn't happen. I don't care. Just make it happen. Yeah, didn't care for 5 at all. Yeah, I think the problem with 5, it was weird. It got better as they updated it, but by the time it got, to like the final polished version, I hadn't played it enough. And it was just too, like, in the the scene, it's like everybody playing was either way too good or just getting into it. So vocoded. It's not intended to be a discussion, so I think it's tagged as Marvel right now. So usually what we do is we'll have a little bit of a chat here at the beginning. Where it's Halloween. This is an off video game topic, but I've been saying I want to basically show my top 5 silly horror movies that everybody should check out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those, maybe show the trailers or something, or some clips. And then once we do that, I'm going to play some Marvel 2. And also what I've been doing with Marvel 2, it's not really been on the YouTube channel. This has pretty much been on Twitch. If you're not familiar with it, there's a website called retroachievements.org. So if you make an account on there, you can actually add achievements to old games. And you got to have the right version of the game, the right emulator, blah, blah, blah. So like for Marvel 2, I've been trying to 100% that game. I lack one achievement, and I saved that for this stream, so I'll get 100%. And well, I did the hard achievement offline by accident, so this one will definitely happen. The hardest achievement is the Iron Man Infinite, which I did do. I'm going to make a video on that and put that up soon. I've got the footage. I'll probably, while I'm talking, let me make sure I have the footage here. I'll probably play that. Let me start out with that, the Iron Man Infinite, because that was not easy. That drove me crazy until I figured out the rhythm. And there's a little trick at the end too. Let me sorry, give me 1 second here, make sure I have it. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, let me yeah, Tony, Iron Man. Let's see. Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me open a little video source here. Let's see, neutral. Do you like co-op beat 'em ups like Double Dragon and Streets of Rage, Final Fight? Yeah, I love those kind of games. I guess the most I did like Streets of Rage 4. I was playing that one. I'm not super great at it, but I've played through it the whole thing once, and I've played random stages with random people online. And Shredder's Revenge, I guess that's the most recent one I've played. I just got the DLC, but I haven't tried it out yet. Let me load this up here. So I'm loading up the... This is footage of me finally doing the Marvel 2 Iron Man Infinite. which has been a meme for a while, but I ended up doing it because I saw it on the Retro Achievements achievement list, so I got that one a few days ago. I've been doing some of them offline because it was getting a lot of the achievements are just pick these 3 guys and beat the game, so that was getting a little old because there were a lot of characters I barely know how to use. Let's see here. Here we go. Where is... Sorry, I've got so much captured footage. Where is my infinite? Oh, wrong folder. That's why. Let's see, science fiction. I'm hyped for the Toxic Crusaders beat 'em up. Yeah, that looks cool. I was actually talking about that earlier. Cool, I've got a bot in Twitch. Awesome. Let me, thanks for... I'll deal with that later, Mr. Robot. Sorry, I'm fumbling around here. I'm an Apple user, so switching over to Windows totally throws me off. Let's see. Where did it go? Let's see, Neutral, who's your favorite character? Depends on the... Are you talking about Marvel 2? Probably my favorite, just because of kind of Marvel 3. Generally, I'd say with me it's a toss-up. I like Skrull and I like Taskmaster a lot. But for the memes, I do like Shumagorath. I actually pre-ordered a vanilla Marvel 3 just to get that Shumagorath t-shirt. I still have it. I still have that in a closet somewhere. Alright. I'm having a trouble here. El West. Hey, honk honk El West. Sorry, I'm trying to find this video. Where did it go? Hang on. Let me just search. I have so much captured footage in so many folders. Here we go. Where is this? Open file location. Okay, alright, here we go. Sorry, I'm stalling for time here. I don't know why it didn't show up first time. So, alright, let's see if I can get this to pull up. Alright. Here we go. So, I think this is the uncut footage, so let me find. So this is me doing the Iron Man Infinite. It is extremely hard to time, or at least to learn it. And so I kept switching back and forth. Like, I've noticed a lot of characters have a different rhythm. So Akuma has one of the lowest health bars in the game. Like, the size is all the same in this game, but like a lot of the fighting games, the health bars for each character, they're assigned like a certain number of points. I think in Marvel 2, everybody's got 143 points of health, and it's the damage scales by certain percentages depending on who they are. So Akuma takes the most damage, along with a couple of other characters. So I was trying to do it on him because the way this Infinite works, or at least the achievement. So you can see I was almost getting it. I kept dropping it. But the way this achievement works is you have to do a solo Iron Man Infinite and you got to do like one infinite combo to do 100% damage, which is 143. So I kept switching around. Amingo is actually the easiest character to get the rhythm on, but he's got more health than Akuma. So I got frustrated. I could do the infinite on Amingo, but I could not hit the very last part. And So I switched to Akuma, and I didn't get that one on video, unfortunately. Akuma is the one I got the achievement on, and I just randomly hit it. So like I almost got it there. I dropped the combo in the middle at some point. That's like the thing. Like the rhythm is the easiest on Amingo, but you got to do it longer. So that's kind of the trade-off. Let's see, Neutral 69, not Ryu or Spider-Man or Wolverine. Yeah, I like all those characters. I used to, especially on Vanilla Marvel 3, Wolverine was my point character. That one kind of changes. I usually keep Skrull in the middle and Taskmaster as the anchor. And generally, if I were being serious, like I won a few like local tournaments, and when I did those, yeah, Wolverine was my point character. I kind of got in the habit of playing Marvel 3 on the Vita, and I could not use Wolverine with a pad, so I would swap him out. I'd usually use Wesker or Shuma, and this is kind of what I got used to using. Sometimes I'd use Firebrand, but he's a little hard to use. And yeah, Chris, yeah, Akuma's usually the weakest character in whatever fighting game he's in. I guess that's how they balance it out. Like they feel like he's too ridiculous, so he takes the most damage. And is Magneto in 3? Yeah, Magneto is in Marvel 3, and he's very good. He is as good in 3 as in 2, so he's barely changed. And so, anyways, I got the video still going here, so let's see. Somewhere in here I get so close. It could be, okay, it's not that one. So if you see the total damage, that's got to hit 143 to unlock the achievement. I'm just going to scroll ahead here. Oh yeah, is this it? Yeah, okay, yeah, this is it. So this is the full infinite combo here, so if you haven't seen the meme that so hilariously explains how to do it, you gotta pop them up in the air, and it's light punch, medium punch, light kick, heavy punch, and you just keep repeating that over and over and over. And the tricky part that I did not understand, and while watching other people's videos, there we go, 143, so that's right there. That was the actual completed infinite. But the part they don't explain, I'm going to go back here just a second. When you get in the corner, okay, so they do explain this part. When you get in the corner, it tries to break the combo. So you have to alternate between a diagonal forward jump and a straight up jump. So every time so each following loop, you got to hold that direction so it doesn't break the combo. And the part I figured out that nobody said in any of the videos I watched, it's so hard to hit that last hit to combo into the proton cannon. You have to hit Fierce Punch to do his little Hadouken move, and when they pop off that's when you do the proton cannon. But I kept dropping it right when I hit the Fierce Punch. So the trick is actually to end that loop on a straight up jump in the corner. So when you jump straight up and you're holding up, you kind of get pushed back a little bit, and that gives the Fierce Punch a little more room to hit. So once I figured that out, I kept hitting it over and over. So you can see it here. It's just that last hit into the cannon. That's what's so hard. Let's see, Neutral. Do you play Capcom versus SNK? Yes, that's actually I left that out. Yeah, Capcom versus SNK 2 is probably my favorite fighting game of all time. I played so much of that. Well, thanks for the subscription. So yeah, CVS2, I played. Actually, it didn't come out in the US for Dreamcast, so I had to I couldn't even import it. I couldn't find it anywhere. So that's when, the Dreamcast piracy scene was off the charts. So I had a burned copy of CVS2, the Japanese version. And I even custom printed it was like one of those stickers you put on a burned CD with you could print on an inkjet printer. So I made my own custom cover and everything, and I played that all the time with my roommates. And then, I mean, I pretty much played CVS2 on the Dreamcast up until I found out that CVS2 was going to launch on Xbox Live. So on the original, I went out and bought an original Xbox and a joystick just for that game, and that was pretty much all I played when I had the original Xbox. I played, I think, really the only other OG. I played some racing games and Halo, but really the only other game I have is Guilty Gear, and I think it was XX Reload on Xbox. I played that quite a bit. And then eventually, like, you know, when I got older, I modded it and had all, you know, had all these games on it and some of the other ones. Oh yeah, so John, my brother, he's got an arcade machine in the basement. He's got he doesn't have Capcom versus SNK. He's got SNK versus Capcom. So that's the SNK made game. SVC Chaos is, I guess, the way they differentiate it. Which that one's fun. It's not as good as the Capcom games. But he got a hell of a deal on that thing. I'm pretty sure... God, that thing was in the arcade for decades. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure the that arcade cabinet, it's that big Atari showcase. It's like I can't remember. It's like a 32-inch CRT with a joystick pedestal. I think when the arcade got it, it had Primal Rage in it. That's how old it is. And I remember they would put, that was kind of like the marquee cabinet in the front of the arcade. So it would have, it had Super Turbo at one point, and I know it had Marvel 2 at one point. If you're ever over, look in the actual door of the arcade cabinet. It is so butchered. They've the arcade that had it replaced the board so much that it's just like totally messed up on the inside. I'm gonna have to gut the whole thing. I was trying to set it up for him to run the Pandora's box, and I got the JAMA version, but it doesn't have where it's an SNK game in it. I don't have the kick harness for the extra buttons. So that whole thing's a mess. I'm going to have to gut it and just start over because it's been spliced together so much. I don't know what goes where. Is Bison in the third one? Street Fighter 3. Yeah, Marvel 3. Nah, Bison is not in Marvel 3, but he is one of the characters they've modded, and he's just like Marvel 2, and it's awesome. And he's got some bonus supers. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. Chris, if you're ever over there near the SVC Chaos machine, there's another one in that back room. You've probably walked past it. That black arcade cabinet. It's a MAME cabinet that I built like 20 years ago. I think I put that together in like 2003 or 2004, and it did work. It would still work. It's just the hard drive died, and it won't turn on. I mean, it's still running Windows XP, but I'm probably going to gut that one and do something with it. But that's what I kept telling him. He needs to put some kind of multicade in the SVC cabinet, and that's what we tried to do. It's just normally it would be a plug and play thing, but it's been cobbled together over the years so many times that it's just everything I tried wouldn't work. You can plug it up now and it will work, but you have to use USB controllers because it won't recognize the arcade controllers for some reason. And it's just literally a rat's nest of wires that actually had a rat's nest in it at one point. I found when I opened it up, so it needs to be cleaned up. But so yeah, I mean, normally if you know, especially everybody on the YouTube side, normally I just do video game stuff. I usually don't show up on video on the channel. I do on stream. I'm going to try to keep the video game channel just video game only. I might pop up from time to time, like, yeah. So Chris, get it. Yeah, we're debating on what to put inside that cabinet. I need to fix it for him. I do have some old PCs that would work, especially for older stuff. If we just stay like with 2D games, like that's super easy. We have enough stuff for that. The computer in mine would still work. I just haven't been super motivated to hook it up because I've got this newer PC now that I kind of keep with me, and I've got a monitor at my desk, especially when I stream. So like, I've got all my games on this, and it's running Botacera with a decent video card. So like, I can play pretty much all the way through PS3 and 360 on this machine, and like I've even got Steam installed on it. So I mean, you can see on the screen here, like this is my current emulation PC. So I have, these are all ROMs, but then I've got legit copies of Marvel 3 and Infinite. These are the Steam versions. So they do. So I've got this folder here, so I could play all the way from Children of the Atom to Marvel Infinite, and that's kind of why I've just been playing on this and not messing with the old one. Plus my old cabinet, it's got a CRT monitor. Like, I'm kind of like, do I keep it the way it is and just put, the really old stuff on it, just have it set up for fun, or, do I put in a flat panel and really upgrade it? But that one, the one I originally built, so again, that was like 20 years ago. I was, 21, 22 when I built it. So I didn't have any money. So if you look at it, it's literally built out of garbage. Like the arcade cabinet itself, it was literally waiting to be thrown away by the local game store, Chris, G2K. And that's before they were even selling games, I think. That's when they were still like a LAN center. Yeah, so I'm not sure what that cabinet was originally. Definitely when they threw it away, it was a Pac-Man retrofit. And it looked like it was probably from when Pac-Man was a thing. It looked ancient. And it's... The cabinet's... It was pretty beat up. I cleaned it up. I did a horrible paint job on it, though, so I'm going to strip the paint and either put vinyl on it or paint it. But... yeah, it's got that's my CRT monitor from college. It's a 21-inch mag monitor. That thing, I'm not joking. That thing, it's not even 30 pounds. That thing weighs freaking, I think, no joke, it's like 80 pounds. It's so freaking heavy. It's heavier than it looks. I remember having to carry that from my dorm to my car, and I 100% thought I was going to drop it. Like and that's when I was in like really good shape too. So it was killing me. And it's got, if you look on top of it, like that's when Wi-Fi was new too. So it's got an 802.11b USB antenna. Oh yeah, that cabinet is heavy as shit too. It doesn't look like it. I don't know what it's made out of, but it took both of us to get it into the house. And I remember I think we put it in my dad's truck. We didn't strap it down or anything, and it didn't have to go far. But I remember we took a turn and that thing fell down. And it sounded like a bomb went off. Luckily, it didn't hurt it, but yeah, that cabinet. It weighs almost as much as that freaking Atari cabinet. If it wasn't for that monitor, it probably would. The big Atari one. Let's see. What do you like better, home consoles or computer or portable handhelds? I don't know. I guess that depends. I've got all of the above now. I'd say I probably lean more towards consoles. I do have a Steam Deck now, and I even have... pretty much a clone of my emulation system on an SD card, so I can boot into that and I can play all my old stuff on it as well as Steam stuff, and that's been pretty fun. But even still, like I went to England last year, and so I mean it's a pretty long flight. I think it was like 13 hours, and I didn't want to bring my Steam Deck because it's kind of bulky, and I didn't want to risk losing it because I hadn't had it. Excuse me, I hadn't had it very long. So I still have my Vita, and it's totally modded to the gills. So I brought my Vita with me on the airplane, and I played Marvel 3 and a bunch of Nintendo games. Let's see, Chris. All I have is my PC and Steam Deck. I never used the Steam Deck. My PC is so old, like I can't really play much on it, so I actually use the Steam Deck quite a bit. Honestly, if I game on my desktop, it's always through GeForce Now. Like I've got a 2009 Mac Pro. I've got a newer video card, so I can play stuff on it, but not much. And even the my emulation PC, it's decent. It's like I can't remember what generation it is. It's like an old Dell Optiplex I've upgraded, so it's got a better power supply. And I think that one's got the Radeon RX 570 in it, so it's nothing great, but it's enough to emulate on. Hey McMeow, thank you for the support. But yeah, I mean, basically my brother and we've really been into console gaming, and we've he's got more stuff now. We both collected at different times, and we never got rid of our old stuff growing up. So we literally still have our original Nintendo box from Christmas of 87 or whenever that was, 86. So I found some other stuff. I know I still have my 3DO box. I got that thing when they were clearing them out. But we've got old stuff like that we hung on to, and luckily I've got a pretty decent job in the mid 2000s onwards. So I did a lot of system collecting from like 2005 through 2010, and I'm trying to think. I mean, we still had we had a lot of the stuff, but just from growing up in yard sales. But I picked up the things I didn't have. Like I never had a Master System. I've got a boxed Master System I picked up. Got a bunch of games on that. I'm trying to think what was some of the other systems. John he picked up a Vectrix. I don't know where he got that, but I've played with that some. And we still have our old Intellivision. I mean, basically between the two of us, we have every system made that matters. I'm sure there's some goofball ones that we don't have. Like I even picked up I've got an Atari Jaguar in a box. Let's see, Chris. I need to play Warzone with John sometime. I just don't know his game name. Oh yeah, he's on. Every time I go up there, he's playing Call of Duty. I assume that's Warzone. Yeah, his Xbox name is just Haha Tushy. If you look on my Twitch about info, I don't know if you can see it while I'm streaming, but I've got him on. It's one of my suggested streamers, so it's like you spell it the same way. Actually, let me type it in the chat. It's probably easier. So yeah, if you look him up on Xbox, that's his gamer tag. Let's see, neutral. Have you tried the Asus ROG Ally? I've watched videos on it. I have not tried it. I haven't seen one. Where I already have a Steam Deck. I mean, I'm curious about it, but until the Steam Deck's obsolete, I probably won't get anything else. Sold my Master System decades ago to a guy I went to school with for almost $400. My God, it was. Yeah, you got a good deal then. I can't remember how much. I bought a box system, and that was in like 2008 maybe. and I feel like that was maybe 150 tops. But who knows how much it is now? Everything's so expensive, it's crazy. Like I quit all my collecting about 10 years ago, so every now and then John will be like, "Hey, guess how much this is now?" And I'm like, "Oh my god." Well, let's see. I will keep talking about video games, but the one thing I do want to do real quick before we get... I don't want to sidetrack us. I do want to talk about some scary movies, if everybody's up for it. But not too scary. More like silly. We've got one day till Halloween. I want to just kind of list 5 of my favorite silly horror movies. I use that term loosely. Some of these are not that scary. I'm going to start out light. Let's see. Meow, are you all dressing up tomorrow? Probably not. Kid already went trick-or-treating. I've been wearing the same costume for years. I'm too late. We all have. Like, it's all about the kid. We haven't really dressed up in a while. Let's see, Chris. Also used to have a console that had a headset that had a thing. One of your... Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Was it the End Zone? Tiger made it. But yeah, it was like... It had these weird cartridges, and I think it was like red LEDs or something. I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the name. Let's see, neutral. Do you like Sega or Nintendo? I liked both, honestly. I mean, it depends on what you were into, or still, I mean, they're different. We had all the Nintendo stuff. We had R-Zone. Yeah, that's right. That was that weird tiger thing that failed. Yeah, growing up, we had all the Nintendo stuff new, and then we got into Sega later. Just when it would get cleared out or garage sales. I think the last stream I was talking about, probably the sickest deal I got. Like I was on team Sega Saturn instead of the PlayStation, and I had a Saturn, and I was happy with it because I mean I like 2D fighting games, so I had the import version of all these like X-Men versus Street Fighter and Darkstalkers 3, well, Vampire Savior. I had the import versions which were arcade perfect, where the PlayStation ones were garbage. So I was still in the 2D. I wasn't ready to go to 3D yet. So I did like Sega more during the Saturn and Dreamcast eras. But I mean, at this point, I've had, or I still have all the systems. I've just, it depends on what you like. Let's see, do you like horror games like Resident Evil or Silent Hill? They look good in theory. I just haven't played them. It's so crazy. Like, I've played all these games. Actually, I think the way my brother put it, like, people would play, they come over and play fighting games, and I'd usually whip everybody's ass at Street Fighter or whatever. And it's not because I was playing games so much. It's just that was the only game I really played. So if I had time, it was usually a fighting game or a beat 'em up. So I've watched people play through Resident Evil, like my brother and some of my friends. I've never actually played them, and I keep meaning to do that. So as I stream more, maybe it'd be a Halloween thing for next year. I would like to stream and play through all the Resident Evil games. I did start Village, long enough to get to the vampire mommy and slap her on the butt. But I haven't finished that one yet either. But my brother's really into them, so I've watched him play through. I think 6 and 7 are the only ones I haven't watched. So I'm familiar with them. I just haven't played them myself. I need to do that eventually. Like it's like there are things I know that are good and they look good. I just haven't taken the time to play them. Silent Hill. Oddly enough, I have not played Silent Hill, but I did see the movie or the first movie in theaters, and I thought it was awesome. I don't know if fans of the game agreed or not, but I thought it was at the time, I thought that was one of the better video game movies. I don't know how close to the source material it stuck, but I think the only Silent Hill thing I've played, which I still have, is the PT demo on PS4. That was really fun, and I was very sad that game did not come out. Yeah, I have heard a lot of people say the new Resident Evils don't feel like old Resident Evil. I guess what that started with 5, or maybe even 4. I guess that's when it kind of changed. I know storyline wise, I'm like, how do you go from zombie pharmaceuticals to giant vampire mummies? But I mean, still looks fun. I want to play the VR mode. But anyway, kind of got sidetracked. So, get it. I got into some fighting game tournaments. I won a few local ones. I remember at one point the video game store in my hometown, they were going to have some crazy like tournament of tournaments, and I was so hyped up for it. It was going to be like multiple games. And I mean, this was like 15, 20 years ago, so I don't remember what. I remember it was like Guilty Gear, Marvel 2, maybe Third Strike. I don't think 4 was out yet. They had this whole list of fighting games, and I think Dead or Alive 3. And I was like, hell yeah, I cannot wait for this. And it was like I was the only person that signed up for it, so it's like it never happened. Oh, actually, speaking of those tournaments at the store, before that one, this was pretty funny. So they had G2K, they had a Dead or Alive 3 tournament on the original Xbox. And I was okay at it. That's not one I put a lot of time into, but I knew how to do everything with Tina, the wrestler chick. So I went through, pretty much mopped the floor with everybody until I played some kid at the end, and he actually put up a fight, but I ended up winning. And then somehow this story was being told later, and then we realized the kid that I beat was Spencer. And then he realized that it was me. He's like, you motherfucker. He's like, I was so mad at you. And it's like he pieced together that we played in that tournament. I was before like he knew John or I knew him. I mean, hell, he was a kid. I think he's like, he's probably almost 10 years younger than me, so that probably made sense. He was probably like 12 and I was 22 or something. But yeah, we laughed at that. But speaking of old stuff, so I'm going to do a little bit of an intro here just so I can piece it out for YouTube. So typically, I'll kind of go like with what's going on here. So I've been streaming on Twitch. I'm multi-streaming now because they allow it. So it's cool. I've got both chats open. It's working great. I can see everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube. And I'll keep doing that as long as I can. And so if you're familiar with my original channel, that's Dr. Bad Vibes. It's all video game related. And the new channel is Dr. Bad Vibes Speaks, which you may be watching this on now. This is kind of an experiment. I'm building out this new channel. I'm going to keep all the video game stuff on Dr. Bad Vibes. I'm going to keep all the stuff with me talking on Dr. Bad Vibes Speaks, because that's me and I speak. And so I guess to kick this off, it's the day before Halloween, so we're doing kind of a Halloween stream. And I want to talk about some scary movies. That's one of my other passions. My wife, Jen, does not like scary movies, so it's hard for me to watch them as much as I used to because she does not like them. So I have to do that on my own time. But, yeah, I'm just going to go through a few here. Mainly silly ones. This isn't like, I'm not starting with like, modern like Saw. I'm not doing any like torture porn or anything, but this is all lighthearted, silly stuff. So I'm going to start with the simple one, which is, yeah, I'm totally born in '61. The Monster Squad. So this is a movie. I didn't see it in theaters. I was still a kid for sure. This is back in the video store days, and we never had we didn't have a Blockbuster or anything like that in the small town I grew up in. But we had a ton of mom and pop stores, and there's something about living in a rural town. Everybody loves horror movies. Does anybody remember that when Netflix? It used to show like what's hot in your area, and I think it would show the city and town. I mean the city and state. It would show the city and state and like what was the most popular, which was kind of cool. So it would usually show like the area where I lived, and it was all it was all horror movies. I remember like what was it? Valentine's Day Massacre, the newer one. It was always number one. It was so weird, like years after it was relevant. But anyway, so horror movies are big where I'm at, and I bring that up because the mom and pop stores, I mean, they carried whatever they wanted, so there was all kinds of cool stuff, and they had lots of horror movies. I saw like so much stuff at a very young age that I probably should not have seen because they didn't care back then. I saw RoboCop when I was in first grade, so eat that. I turned out great. I definitely saw. I remember. Well, speaking of Halloween, I dressed up as Freddy Krueger in third grade. If you did that now, you'd probably get sent home. Nobody cared then. And, of course, at the time, that's when he was kind of becoming a cartoon character anyways. But, yeah, we had a lot of cool video stores. See, Chris, he had two places, Family Video and Silver Screen. We usually used, depending on where we were at, there was... Balls TV and Video, which always made us laugh. They actually had a little arcade in the back. I played a lot of games there too. And Video World, that one had all kinds of stuff. That's usually where we'd go and we'd spend the weekend with grandparents. And yeah, they had all kinds of stuff that kids probably shouldn't have watched, but we did. But they had stuff that were, this is PG-13. So let's talk about, we got the Monster Squad. And the Monster Squad's awesome. It's basically the Goonies versus Universal Monsters. I mean, that's what it is. They even have, the silly fat kid. And he's the best character in the movie, in my opinion. So, yeah, as McMouth says, the best line in the movie ever, Wolfman's got nards. If you've seen this movie, you know that line. I guess... As I go through these, I'll probably play the trailers or some clips. I've got them up on IMDb here. But, let's see. Oh yeah, Neutral, getting to the global tournaments we play and win a lot of money. I'm not quite that good. I did want to go to EVO this year. I wish I did. I wanted to film it and stuff. Maybe soon. I doubt I'm not going to be tournament level, but I'd like to, do some side thing for fun. I've played in some of the bigger California arcades on a trip out there. I did all right in CVS too, so I could probably do okay. I wouldn't win anything, but I might be able to, be respectable if I practice. Let's see. Oh yeah. Trick-or-treating is not a thing anymore. It's so weird. I mean, honestly, as an adult, I don't want anybody coming and knocking on my door because whenever they do, they're wanting to sell something and I get mad. I mean, Halloween you'd expect it, but everybody's so crazy now. Like, same thing with my kid. We went to some, not the business thing, but there was like a summer camp that has trick-or-treating things set up. All the cabins, so we did that. It's not the same, but that's just how it is now, unfortunately. But what was not like it is now is Monster Squad. Let me see here. So if you're not familiar with the movie, I'll play the trailer in a second. If you're not familiar with the movie, it is basically a group of kids. They're like monster hunting club, and turns out Dracula's back, and he brings back all the other basically universal monsters. You got, let me switch to the big screen here. So yeah, you got Dracula, Mummy, Frankenstein, Wolfman, who has nards that we've established, and I forget what they call the Black Lagoon thing, the creature in this. I think it's like Gillman or something. But funny thing I just learned about this movie, actually. I was watching Secret Galaxy. It used to be known as Toy Galaxy. They talk about a bunch of properties from the 80s. So the fish monster, Gillman, he had a lot of animatronics in his face that they invented for this movie, and then it turns out, like, I can't remember the connection. It was like one of their friends was working on Predator, and they couldn't get Predator's face to work the way they wanted. So basically, Monster Squad led to Predator, at least the costume working the way it did. So there's a tidbit I didn't know. Let's see. So, has everybody heard of Monster Squad? Obviously, McMeow has. Same with mine. It's definitely a movie that stuck with me since childhood. Let me just play the trailer. Make sure I got my audio on here. I may not have it set. Let me just make sure.
Once upon a time that hasn't happened yet, there will be a spaceship called the Infinity.
Wait a minute, what is this?
Steering the Infinity with
okay, I don't know what this is. It's not Monster Squad. Hang on. What is it playing? Here's the Monster Squad. I don't know what it was playing just then. Let me start this over. Oh yeah, shout out to the kid wearing the Robotech t-shirt. I never noticed that.
There's a monster in my closet.
Come on, all of you monsters, out of here! Ooh, look at that big, scary monster!
For the first time ever,
you think you'd smell the mummy?
Who are you?
We're the Monster Squad.
It's the Monster Squad in a 2-disc 20th anniversary edition.
What's a squad? It's like Miami Vice, I think.
Wolfman, Frankenstein, Gillman, Mummy, and the Prince of Darkness, Dracula. All restored and newly remastered to its theatrical widescreen format.
Hey guys, get over here, he's great!
And loaded with special features, including commentaries with writer-director Fred Decker and cast members.
Wolfman's got nards.
Monster Squad Forever, a 5-part retrospective featuring new interviews with the cast.
It just occurred to me, what if we did a Little Rascals movie?
Let me switch it back. That's not really a trailer for the movie. That's like advertising the DVD release. But I mean, you get the idea. Let me just pull it up. This movie's too good. I don't want to give it a crappy trailer. See if I can find the original. Which honestly, the original trailer is not that good. Like, I feel like it made it look like a different movie, like a different tone. Make sure this isn't the same damn one. Okay, yeah, it's TriStar, so defunct company.
Ghosts. But who do you call when you have monsters?
We're the Monster Squad.
What's a squad? It's like Miami Vice, I think.
They're young and inexperienced.
Naughty virgin.
They're a bit disorganized.
Monsters are not real.
We don't know that, sir.
2,000-year-old dead guys do not get up and walk away by themselves.
But when strange things start happening in town,
There's a monster in my closet.
Ooh, look at that big, scary monster!
What's happening?
You wait till the werewolf.
Silver bullet?
They're the only ones ready to do battle.
Something's out there that's killing people. And if it's monsters, nobody's gonna do a thing about it but us.
Soon the creatures of the night shall rule the world.
Real monsters? Us? Midnight. In the world, remember? Maybe we can be like Mass Squad instead, you know? 2 mass bombs.
We got 1035. Sit back up. Hurry
Or Nature Squad. The book is right. Don't you see it's all true?
By midnight,
You
they won't seem so young anymore. The Monster Squad.
Wolfman's gone mad.
That's what we wanted. Wolfman's got nards. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, that's a fun movie, and it was actually really hard to find for a while too. So I bring up the I brought up the mom and pop video stores because we'd rent this one a lot, especially around Halloween, and I can't remember what exactly happened with the rights to the movie, but I remember they got tied up and juggled around, and it was like one of those situations like somebody owned, like multiple people owned the movie, but nobody really knew who, and like it pretty much disappeared. And the only way you could watch it is if you could find one of the old VHS tapes. And I remember specifically, I think it was like when I was finishing college, that I really wanted to watch the Monster Squad. And I could not find it because by then a lot of those video stores had closed. Everything was moving the DVD, and the way and you know, streaming wasn't a thing yet, and piracy was a thing, but you know, it wasn't like every movie ever made. It was just, you know, the popular stuff. So the way I ended up finding this movie to finally watch was somebody on eBay was selling DVD transfers from the VHS. So I bought a DVD of the VHS, and the quality wasn't great, but hey, I got to watch it. And then eventually they did, you know, as you saw from the earlier trailer, commercial, whatever you want to call it, it is on DVD. It's easy to find now. Looks like Lionsgate owns it, so it'll be in every Walmart bin every Halloween from till the end of time now. But yeah, it's a fun movie. Kind of a family movie, but it's got some intense stuff in it. You know, if you got a real little kid. My favorite part is Dracula grabbing the 4-year-old by the neck and calling her a bitch. Dracula goes hard at the end, and that always makes me laugh. And it's got some classic stuff like Wolfman's Got Nards, and it has things like, we'll see what photos it has. My favorite part that doesn't get a lot of discussion is Horace, aka Fat Kid, manages to weaponize pizza. He slaps Dracula in the face with a pizza and a slice of pizza, and the garlic, you know, burns a big triangle on his face. And really everything with the Wolfman in the movie, though, like he's no joke. Like he's mad and he's ready to tear everybody apart, and he gets blown up a few times because, you know, only silver bullets can do the trick. But good movie. If you want something that's not super scary, recommend it. You could probably, you know, if your kids can handle it, if they have an attention span longer than 60 seconds, like most kids don't, they may like it. Let's see. Do you like Castlevania? I do like Castlevania. It didn't get a lot of love, but I really liked Lords of Shadow. It wasn't I don't know, maybe not the best gameplay, but it was kind of, I mean, I hadn't played God of War at the time, so, you know, it kind of scratched that itch that I didn't know I had. And do you like martial arts movies? Yeah, I haven't watched many martial art movies in a while. Probably my favorite, I really like Jackie Chan movies. I can't remember, it had 2 names. I don't remember what it came out as. I think it was originally Drunken Master 2. It's the one that he it ends with a fight where he drinks like some kind of industrial solvent and gets drunk off of it from these bamboo shoots at the end, and I think like he gets kicked on a bed of hot coals and stuff while he's drunk, and he goes ballistic. I really like that one. But I haven't watched any martial art movies in a while. I haven't seen any modern ones. I guess probably Kung Fu Hustle's the newest one I saw, which is basically like, hey, let's make a Kung Fu movie and also Looney Tunes out of real people. So, but I'll keep going with the movies here. So that was Monster Squad. Love it. One of my favorites. I have to show the kid that one. The next one, this was a little more obscure. And I actually didn't watch it until a few years ago. And I can't believe I missed it. This one is called Brain Damage. This one's a little... I mean, it's rated R. It's a little more intense. But it's like... It's a B horror movie. It's silly. Basically, there's an alien that can attach itself to people's brain stems like a parasite and just keep pumping a chemical into them that makes them feel awesome. And... essentially get them addicted to the alien, and the alien needs to eat people's brains to sustain itself. So, you know, that's pretty much the plot. Oh yeah, the Rush Hour movies are good. So real quick here, I'm going to play the Brain Damage trailer, and keep in mind this is a B movie, so brace yourself for the alien.
One night you go to bed, and when you wake up, everything is different. Now Brian's acting a little peculiar.
He's like a completely different person. I don't even know him anymore.
Something's gotten into him.
Sometimes everything glows with a different kind of light.
Deep into him.
What are you telling me? That we killed someone last night?
Something bad.
Brian, attack me.
Something slimy.
What are you doing?
Something very...
I know something's happened to you.
Very...
How is that?
hungry.
You can't keep killing people every time you're hungry.
You're mine now, Brian. I own you.
Gotta get out of here fast. Go where?
You're a wreck, Brian.
Leave me alone!
If you want to stop hurting, you come to me.
Brain damage. It will turn you inside out.
Well, it barely showed the alien. Let's see what other videos they have. There's one scene in particular. I got to just pull that up. This made the movie for me. I laughed so hard. So I can find the bathtub. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, there's a scene. There's a scene where he's in the bathtub. I love this.
Brian, are you clean yet? Do you hear me?
Huh?
It's Barbara. We have a date tonight, remember?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll be right out.
Yeah, so it's got some intense scenes, but it's got a lot of silly scenes. So yeah, Chris, it's like Venom, Venom with a penis-shaped parasite. That's pretty accurate. That's basically the gist of the movie, except the bad guy's bad. Let's see. Yeah, I've seen the Rush Hour movies. Those are great. Night of the Demons. I don't think I've seen those. They don't ring a bell. Let me look that up real quick. Night of the Demons. 88. Huh. It looks like something I should have watched. Oh yeah, I've definitely seen the box at a video store, but I never watched this. Yeah, I never got around to seeing it. I'll have to check that out. Oh, well, I guess on to the next one. So this one, this one's silly. You think, oh, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street, that's probably my favorite franchise, horror franchise of all time. But by the time we get to Freddy's Dead, which is part 6, it's kind of run its course. And as a horror movie, it's pretty awful. But as a comedy, it's freaking genius. It's just so stupid. I actually saw this in theaters. So I would have been 10. My mom took me to watch this. I remember, I may still have the 3D glasses somewhere. I distinctly remember getting those. They handed them out at the theater. I kept waiting and waiting to see, the 3D part. They're like, you got to put them on, and it's like, it never came up. Let's see, not five. Yeah, so this is the silliest Nightmare on Elm Street. If you want to watch a good one, watch part 3, or the first one, or 4 and 5. The thing I like about, one of the things I like about Elm Street is it connects. Like, not all of them. Like, 2 is definitely the black sheep. So Elm Street 2 has nothing to do with anything. But 1, 3, 4, and 5 all connect pretty well, fairly seamlessly. You know, they gotta exchange out the kids for new ones at the beginning of most of them. But 3 is my favorite by far. The first one's great. I mean, if you've never watched Nightmare on Elm Street, I'd definitely recommend starting with the first one. That one's before he became totally silly catchphrase. And 3 too. 3 probably had the biggest budget. Well, not the biggest budget, but 3 is when they actually got a budget, and really took it up to the next level. You had Dawkins doing the theme song. That was when the catchphrases started to pop up, but that was before they were completely silly. That's 3 is the one where he's the TV and he's like, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." That's kind of where he didn't really overuse the word bitch until later. He was still scary in the third one, and I liked 4, I liked 5. I guess everybody's got their favorite. 3's my favorite, but 6, aka Freddy's Dead, is my favorite from a comedy standpoint because it is a straight up Looney Tune. Like a live-action Looney Tune. It's just so stupid. I'll play the trailer real quick. If you're not familiar with this one. Best for last, my ass. Unless we're talking about the comedy aspect. So, yeah, this one was just silly. I recommend watching it just to see how silly it is. It's just insane that this is part of the same franchise. Let's see. So I like Candyman. I love Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3. Great. 1 and 2 will always be my all-time favorite. I did watch the Hellraiser remake last year, and I really like that remake. I didn't hear many people talk about it. I don't know if other people felt the same. Maybe it's because there's been so many bad Hellraisers since I guess 4. There's been like 6 or 7 terrible ones, and then the remake. I mean, it was different. It dragged out a lot in the beginning, but once it got going, I loved that remake. I really want to watch it again. I guess my only complaints. It took a while to get going. It started really slow, and it was so dark, it was hard to see the Cenobites. So you didn't really get to see the monsters a whole lot, but when you did, they were fucking horrific. And yeah, I saw Robert Englund. He's like, all right, I'm too old, no more Freddy, which that's a shame. I really liked Freddy versus Jason. I wish we could have gotten something else. Like, they were rumored to have Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, which they did make into a comic, but not a movie. They were supposed to have Pinhead as a cameo in the post-credits scene from Freddy versus Jason and maybe put him into it somehow, but nothing happened. And it sounds like the Friday the 13th movie rights are just a disaster again, so I don't know who owns them. I think there's some lawsuit going on over like the music and the script and the special like the special effects, which would I guess include Jason. I don't know. I don't know all the details, but it's a mess, so probably won't be getting a Friday the 13th movie remake anytime soon beyond the previous remake, which I saw a lot of people did not like that Friday the 13th remake, but I thought it was good. I really liked it. It came out in like 2012-ish. It was the Platinum Dunes remake. I think it's Michael Bay's company. I may be getting that wrong. But I thought it was cool. It kind of compressed the original story of 1, 2, and 3 together. Friday the 13th. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Can't bring up Freddy without Jason anymore. The only thing I guess I do want to add with Freddy's Dead, since this is partially a video game stream, and I've got a video game channel. Whoops, I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. One of the dumbest / best scenes in the original movie is when Freddy has the power glove. So let me play this real quick, and we'll move on from Freddy. Whoops. That's so stupid, but it makes me laugh every time. Also, bonus, so I guess most people know, but the first Nightmare on Elm Street was actually Johnny Depp's debut role. So he makes a cameo in Freddy's Dead when Breckenmeyer, the stoner character, when he's passing out on the couch, they do the "This is your brain on drugs" commercial parody, and Johnny Depp's the guy putting the egg into the frying pan. And then Freddy bashes him in the face of the frying pan. He's like, "Yeah, what are you on? Looks like some frying, or looks like an egg in a pan to me." But funny that they got him to show back up. All right, so I guess the short version on that, if you want to watch a good Freddy movie, watch anyone before that one, 1 through 5. If you're not real familiar with Freddy, I'd say start with 1. If you want to just watch the best one, watch 3. It explains everything. If you want to watch something weird, watch 2. 2 is very strange. It's got some good scenes in it, but it is a weird movie. So, moving forward, I've only got a few more here. So this one is very personal to me. I don't know how many people are aware of this one. This is not the Michael Keaton version. This is another one. This actually predates the Michael Keaton movie. And I only knew about it because a small regional chain, you may remember it, Chris. God, if I'm getting the name wrong. I believe it was Video Magic. I think they had like 2 or 3 stores in the area. I think they were based out of Tennessee, but we had a few. But the one in my hometown, they had 1 copy of this movie, and this is before DVD. So all the movies were still VHS, and they say don't judge a movie by its cover. I mean, don't judge a book by its cover, but I will definitely judge a movie by its cover, because this thing had one of the best boxes in the store. It was so dumb. It has this goofy looking snowman. It's hard to really explain without having the box in your hand, and I think it only had this was only on the VHS version. So if you're old enough to remember packages or cards that they're referred to as lenticular. So that's like, it'd be like that plastics kind of see-through thing on a, like a, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example, like a baseball card or a movie. Like you could run your finger across it and you could feel the ridges. So as you moved it back and forth, it would either be like a 3D image or something would move. I'm trying to remember. I remember a lot of toys would have, like it'd be like a little billboard that would change. I think some of the Hot Wheels had that. It seemed like there was something He-Man related that had it. But anyway, so this one, the box, as you walked away, it was like the happy, silly snowman. But as you walked in front of it, it turned into this crazy monster snowman. And this movie is very B movie. It's probably a C movie. There's like no budget. But it's so dumb. But so dumb that it's fun. So it's straight up the story behind this one. It's basically a serial killer was on the loose, and he got caught by this dopey sheriff just by pure accident. Like he was on the loose for a long time. Nobody could find him. You know, he thought he was untouchable, and he just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. This goofy sheriff caught him, and he got sentenced to death. And on his way to death row, he's being transported, and he's in the prison truck. It collides with some vague science truck. I think it just says like genetic. I'll have to pull the trailer. It says something totally stupid on it. It's just like, it's basically like Ninja Turtles ooze, essentially. So the truck crashes into that, and it blows up. It sprays him. The guy melts into the snow, and they all think, oh, well, he's dead. You know, the end of him. But it turns out it fused his DNA with the snow, so he's actually a snowman. So he's almost like Hydro Man or Sandman from Spider-Man. He's like a snowman that can kind of like melt. He can turn the water. He can reform. He can blow around. So it's very silly. I'll have to play the trailer on this one because it's just too stupid. It may not be on IMDb. Yeah, let me pull the trailer up. This one's pretty dumb. I have to emphasize that it's not the Michael Keaton. Yeah, so 97 is the horror movie. 98 is the Michael Keaton movie. So right here, we don't want to watch that one. We want to watch... Here we go, the trailers of horror. Sorry, I don't think I had the audio on it. Let me switch over. One sec.
One cold night, science and evil collide. Oh yeah. Now, a serial killer is on the loose.
We hadn't even tested the acid on an amoeba, let alone a human cell. This is a disaster.
Look, I just saw something that doesn't belong in this world, and it's out there killing my friends. Now tell me what it is.
Jack Frost.
I think Jack's about to make an entrance.
And he's giving Cold-Blooded a whole new meaning.
Hey, Jack! What? You left the 7-10 split.
Hell has just frozen over. Blow me. Jack Frost.
Look, Ma! I'm a Picasso!
Wow. So yeah, that's another silly one. Very dumb. I don't know how well it aged. It was hilarious as a teenager, but it's so low budget. It's terrible. Actually, wait. I meant to point something out. So you may have caught it in the trailer here. We enlarge it. So this came out in '97. Well, hang on. Let me find it here. Yeah, you only see her here for like a second. So if you're not familiar, I think this may have been her first movie, or it was right around the time of American Pie. But that's Shannon Elizabeth. So they really leaned heavily into that appearance when the DVD came out. She was a little more well known then. And something I did just notice, I could be wrong. I have to look at IMDb. He looks familiar. That's not... Is that Buster from Arrested Development? I could be wrong. He looks familiar. I'm trying to see who's actually in this movie. If anybody can correct me. Yeah, here we go. There's Shannon Elizabeth. But I may be wrong. It looked like Buster, but I may be mistaken. I don't know if this is him. Yeah, I guess I'm mistaken. It kind of looked like him. Let's see if I've ever seen Communion. I never saw that. I remember the trailer. Let me see what we got left here. Let me get through these last two movies. I'll chat a little bit more and I'll finish this Marvel game. Alright, so this is another one. This is a silly one I came across kind of by accident. I remember DVDs were fairly new. Yeah, this was 2000. Man, I wonder if I even watched it on DVD. I felt like I did. I know I was in college. I don't think I even had like a real DVD player. I just had a DVD drive on my computer. So sometimes I'd go to... At that point, there was a Blockbuster near me. I'd go there. Sometimes Hollywood Video. And at that point, I had watched... I guess all of the Leprechaun movies. This one's 5. They didn't refer to it as 5 when it came out. They kind of started it over. But, yeah, so, you know, the first two... Actually, the first one, Jennifer Aniston's in that one. That's the first Leprechaun's claim to fame. Yeah, the Leprechaun movies, they're not great. 1 and 2 blend together. I think they're in the same location or something. I know I've watched both of them, but I cannot remember what happens in which. I just remember Jennifer Aniston is in the first one. The third one is the one in Las Vegas, and that one's pretty stupid. He's basically like, you know, in that one he's basically just granting like monkey paw wishes. And then the fourth one, like so many horror movies, including Hellraiser, the fourth one is where he goes to space, and for whatever reason becomes giant and then explodes, and then then his gigantic middle finger flies through the space at the end. So 5 kind of starts over and ignores the other ones. And it's basically the Leprechaun working with Ice-T to be bad people. I mean, honestly, it's Leprechaun in the Hood, so it's Leprechaun with gangsters. I don't know if I can really say much else about it, so let me see if the trailer's on. Yeah, here we go. Is it just a 30-second trailer? I guess so. Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. Let me play the trailer on this, and then we'll talk. Yeah, because DVD's not video. Yeah, I believe that one was straight to video, if I'm not mistaken. That really reminded me that. So, yeah, at that point, nobody cared about Leprechaun. That one was kind of a surprise hit, I think. And it actually spawned its own sequel. There is a Leprechaun in the Hood 2, which I guess is technically Leprechaun 6. It's pretty terrible. The first one's Leprechaun in the Hood, aka Leprechaun 5. Pretty funny. Oh yeah, Leprechaun Back to the Hood, that's what it is. I just want to play one clip from this because it's just so stupid. Where's it at? Yeah, here we go. Let me play this and we'll move on. Oh, crap. Oh, it won't let me play it because he does a bong rip. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the shortened one. Is it?
The bar. A friend with weed is a friend indeed. But a friend with gold is the best, I'm told.
Yeah, so that's Leprechaun in the Hood. Silly stuff, lots of weed jokes. That's about it. It's silly. I mean, the plot of it, it's like Ice-T's like an evil music executive, and then it's like a rap duo or trio. They're trying to be good guys and send a positive message, and the whole movie is them at odds with the Leprechaun in the middle, and it turns out Ice-T's gained all of his clout from somehow having the Leprechaun in his wall, so it really makes no sense. But it's got a lot of funny parts. I did save the best, or what I consider the best of these for last. This one was something I totally overlooked in the video store. I always thought it had a cool cover. This was not the cover. Let me see. I want to see if I can find the original VHS cover. So I also noticed, God, I can't type it. I'm looking in two different directions. This movie apparently changed titles at some point. So when I saw it in the video store, it was Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation. And I believe, I want to see if when you search for it, or at least on Wikipedia, like it totally ignores that name. I think it's just called The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it was originally called The Next Generation, and this was the this was the VHS art that I remember. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know why. It just made me laugh. But the re-release has very different art for two very different reasons. As you may notice, we've got Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey in very early roles. So this is a very weird movie. And it was, when I was reading about it, I mean, I knew it was early. It was essentially, I think it was Matthew McConaughey's first movie, to my knowledge. If it wasn't the first one, it was a very early one. It said that he had just graduated college. He was literally in the truck to drive to California, to move to California. And somebody was like, hey, we're filming this Texas Chainsaw movie. And he like suggested some of his friends from school. He's like, oh yeah, they'd probably like to be in it. And he's like, oh wait, I'd like to be in it. So he auditioned and immediately got the role. And Renee Zellweger's in it as well. This is 1 year prior to Jerry Maguire, which, if I remember correctly, this is where this movie gets a little weird. Well, outside of the plot. So I don't think it was the actors, but I believe it was their talent agency. I guess they knew Jerry Maguire was going to be a thing. So from what I recall, and if anybody remembers differently or can expand on this, correct me, but this movie kind of got suppressed because of how insane it is, and it had these two up and comers in it. So as you can see, these re-releases really took advantage of their names, which they are the main characters in the movie, and really Leatherface has nothing. He's almost like a background character in this movie. He's in it, but he's Matthew McConaughey's the primary antagonist. But yeah, this movie is so weird. Like, if you watched any of these that I've talked about, please watch this one because it's just so freaking weird. I definitely, let me see if I can cue up the clips for this while I talk. So the plot is just nonsense. Basically, if you really distill the plot, Leatherface is overtly a cross-dresser in this movie, and he takes young women's skin, wears it like a mask, before, but they really lean into the weird part of Leatherface. Like this one, he doesn't really do a whole lot. He just kind of screams the whole time, and there's just so much. Like Matthew McConaughey, it is worth watching it for him in this movie. Hey J-Ro, we're talking about some horror movies right now. I'm on the last one. So to anybody that's a Matthew McConaughey fan, you have to watch this because you will be like, I did not know this. I didn't know this existed. Let's see here. This one, I don't even want to play the trailer. Like, you don't need the trailer. I just want to play... I want to play this scene in the kitchen first. Yeah. Leatherface puts lipstick on the face skin. Yeah, this movie is just so bizarre. But Matthew McConaughey is so great in it. So let me just show this. Well, after this freaking ad, hang on. What's it doing? Just play the ad. Oh, here we go. So this movie has so much screaming in it. So just be warned. Okay, well, we probably can't say that anymore, but the part where he jumps off the roof, we still do that. It's freaking as old middle-aged adults like my brother and I and our friends. If we jump off something, we'll be like, "Boo, boo." But so, short version, I recommend checking out that quality piece of cinema. And that pretty much concludes my my top 5 dumb horror movie list that I believe everybody should watch. That one, Matthew McConaughey makes that one. If you're a fan of his, definitely watch it. So I'm gonna end the horror movie talk there. Hopefully you go and watch them. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing. Maybe somebody learned something. I know I didn't. But I'm going to pivot back to video games now. So if you've been watching, let me zoom in a little. If you've been watching my streams the past little bit, one sec, let me get to a better spot. I've been playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I've been playing it because on retroachievements.com or .org, I've been trying to 100% this game, and as you can see, I lack one achievement. I got the hard one out of the way. As you can see right here, Iron Man's Infinite. Apparently I'm one of 18 people that have done this one out of 829. So okay, it doesn't sound as impressive, but finally nailed that stupid infinite. Now I know how to. It's not so hard once you understand what to do. I didn't understand what to do, but now I do. So basically everything has been unlocked except we got one more of these play through the game with a certain team, and it is play as 3 different Spider-Mans. Spider-Mans. So that's why it's taking so long. Most of these achievements are, beat the game in the hardest mode with this goofy team. And actually, while I have this pulled up, let me pull up the move list. I very rarely use Spider-Man on this game. I'm familiar with them in the other ones. I just want to see what his... you gotta look at this first. What are his supers? I know web throw. Okay, crawler assault. And... well, I wanted to see his assists. Can't remember which one is which here. J-Ro. Don't worry, J-Ro. I will... well, the replay will be up on Twitch. I'm going to edit the horror movies into their own video. Hopefully I didn't get flagged on YouTube for playing all this... I guess copyrighted material. I was just playing trailers. Hey, I was giving commentary. If Sniper Wolf can do it, I can do it. I'm not big enough. I probably can't do it. Let's see. Where is Spider-Man? I just want to know his assists. It's not a huge deal. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. I know Spider-Man decently well enough. You're not going to see any crazy combos, but I can definitely beat the game with him. Hopefully I don't have to continue. So yeah, if you're not familiar with this, you may have noticed just then that I logged into RetroAchievements. That's how these achievements are made possible. Oh, hey, Darkner, I need to go to bed. Just wanted to come see what crazy antics were happening here. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Let's see. Neutral 69. Do you like the Resident Evil movies? They're so bad they're good. I do like those Resident Evil movies. They do blend together. I can't remember. At some point they got extra ridiculous and I was totally on board. I want to say it was like around like 4 or 5 or something. Yeah, honk honk Nuri. Good night. But yeah, I remember I saw one of the Resident Evils in theater. It had Nemesis in it. So that may have been the third or fourth movie. I can't remember, but I remember thinking that one was hilarious and kind of awesome. And then I guess the one where she became an unstoppable clone of herself, like around 4 or 5. So part of the reason I've waited till now, I really want to look at his list. I don't. So like, you have to pick a team of all Spider-Men. I think it was called the No Way Home achievement, in reference to the movie. But I do not. I want to see what his assist types are. So I don't want to have to pick everybody again. Let's see, where is Spider-Man? There we go. Give me pictures of Spider-Man! Okay, assist. Okay, this is what really mattered. So we got... Okay, I can just pick one of each. They'll have the same super. Let's see, my favorite team. The Marvel 2 I played a lot, but I've only played this one, I guess, casually. I never really got super good at this one. Probably the team I had the most success with was a weird one. I picked Morrigan, Shumagorath, and Thanos, which is a very strange team that you don't see often. I would do pretty good with that team. I think I would also pick, probably the one that's a little more, slightly more mainstream. I'd pick Morrigan, BB Hood, and Iron Man. The advantage to that team, especially if you're playing single player, you can, if you do a triple team with those three, you can just destroy Abyss. Unfortunately, I don't know any combos with Spider-Man. Oh, it's a lot of web swinging. Some of it's coming back to me as I play. I used him more in Marvel 1 and Marvel Superheroes. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter. So I remember a few of the combos that may work in this one. Crap. And I don't remember, I think there may be a way to combo into Maximum Spider. See if I can. I want to try something here. He keeps throwing me out of it. Alright, well, never mind. I was trying to do that with all three of them. Let's see, Venom. I'm actually pretty good with Venom on Marvel Infinite. I'm not good with them in Marvel 1 or 2. I can kind of, I can do some basic stuff with them. They definitely gave him more moves in Infinite. And the Venom mod is more based on Infinite than the other ones. The mod for Marvel 3, so I like him on that one. Okay. Get some combos. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't put Carnage in this one. But, again, with the Marvel 3 mods, they do have a Carnage mod, and he's pretty good. I hate that. Sometimes when you DHC with Spider-Man, if you don't hold it just right, he'll just completely miss. Let's see, but yeah, Carnage is not in 3 unless you use the mod. But it does appear that a huge mod release is coming out soon. I don't know when. And like everything looks better. I really want to read up on it. I feel like I may be able to possibly understand how to mod. I used to mod stuff like forever ago. If you could even say that. Like I would do stuff in Quake and Doom, so it's like, you know, not hardly the same, but I have enough like graphic design background. I don't work in 3D much, but if I can read a little on it, I think I can figure it out. It'd be cool to have a character modded in. I don't know who I would do. Somebody's missing from this game, I guess. Ah, tricked him. I hate Iceman Marvel 2. Let's see, I have not played the new Spider-Man game. I am so far behind on games. I actually own the first one, and I have not even... I got it for like a Black Friday deal like a year or two ago, and I've still not even played it. It's still in the shrink wrap. I'll get to it eventually. But I'm not exaggerating. I've got stuff from the 360 I still need to play. God, I completely missed. So again, I'm not a Spider-Man player. I'm just doing this for the achievement, which this will be the last one. Once I finish this game, I probably won't play it for a while. I'd like to play online with it. You can still play this game online to an extent. I guess the player base is probably fragmented quite a bit. I've still got the 360 release, and I think people still play it. But I'd say the majority of people play on Fatcade. Let's see. You talking about the new Spider-Man game? I'm still on a PS4 Pro. Well, the previous Spider-Man game. I will probably get a PS5 eventually. There just aren't any games outside of Spider-Man that are exclusive that I'm aware of. And again, my backlog is so far behind. But we'll keep an eye out this Black Friday. I bet there's probably somebody. I'd like to get one of the old PS5s before the Slims take over. Not for any particular reason. I kind of like the look of the original one a little better, and I want a disc, so I don't care if it's optional. My army of Spider-Mans. This is definitely not the worst team I've had to play through with. What was the one team? Team Troll tier. It was Dan, Roll, and Servbot. My God, I thought I'd never finish the game. I think that was the last time I had to continue on this game. Let's see. Do I play fighting games on the internet? Sometimes. It really comes down to not having time lately, but yeah, I mean, definitely, if you ever want to play online, and you see me online, I'm always down to play. And kind of while we're on the subject of Marvel, has anybody been watching the season 2 of Loki? Yeah, Juggernaut can be a menace in this game if you know how to use him. Normally when you put it on really hard mode, the AI is super hard. I think the three Spider-Men have just like confused everybody. Like, normally these random supers won't hit. But, yeah, speaking of Juggernaut being tough, I love that he showed up in Deadpool 2. I hope they somehow use him again in Deadpool 3. God, he does such an obscene amount of damage. Let's see, am I good with Cable or Hulk? Well, the good thing with Cable is all you have to know is you just have to know how to press Fierce Punch and you can be good with him. I'm okay with Cable. I used to be okay with Hulk. He's so different in this one. I've kind of forgotten how to use him versus the newer games. Like, please throw your assist out. I didn't mean to do that. Woo. Thought he was gonna go nuts on me. Yeah, if you know how to use Hulk in really any of these games, he's pretty sick in Marvel 3. But they, some of the characters, they totally changed their inputs. So Hulk's one that always messes me up because he's a charge character in Marvel 1 and 2, but he's not in Marvel 3. And it always throws me off. Some of the characters, it's hard to go back and forth if you don't use them a lot. Let's see. Depends on the game. I got pretty good with Chun-Li on Marvel 3. Sakura I'm pretty decent with. I like using her. Dan, I'm as good as you can get with Dan, I guess. Let's see. Oh, hey, Carrie Dad over on Twitch. Thanks for stopping by. Hope everything's going well. Hope you're all settled in. I am multi-streaming tonight, so I'm on YouTube and Twitch because it's allowed now. But I don't think anything's going to change to affect that. But if anything ever goes down, you know, Twitch is still going to be the priority for streaming. You know, I've got my channels. You know, they'll still stay the same. I'll probably just be streaming to the game channel. But Dan is a good troll character. If you're playing with friends, you know, Dan, Servbot, Roll, I mean, they really are good at trolling. God, he's being extra annoying. So I'm trying to get the last achievement with Marvel 2. This is the last form of the last boss, so as long as I can beat him, this game is 100%. And that's also why I'm using 3 Spider-Men, because that's the last achievement that I have left. Never really realized that he does not have good supers against Abyss. Shit. You can't hit him. Let's see. Abyss. Wait, here we go. Get the last achievement here. Yay. Ooh, Mastered Marvel 2. Good God, 190. I didn't actually play it that long. So that means this game is 100%. I definitely did not play it 191 hours. I had to leave it running overnight for a while to earn enough secret points to buy all the characters and colors. But Abyss is not Thanos' son. He's totally made up for this game. Like there's a whole backstory that's never explained in game. It's like Ruby Heart is traveling with, I think, Amingo and Sansan, and somehow that's how the universes merge, and they're trying to fight Abyss, who's after some ancient thing. I may be getting that wrong because it's not, and it does not say it anywhere in the game. It kind of hints at it in the credits. I think you have to read the instruction manual to even get that story. Let me... I'm going to stop this music here. Let's switch back over. So now I should have 100% on this game. But Thanos does have a son in the comics. But that's way more recent than this game. And I'm drawing a blank on what his name is, but he pretty much looks like him. Like Thad or something. Actually, let me just Google it. Thane. Yeah, that's it, Thane. Yeah. So he's an Inhuman. But I don't know much about him. He's a relatively new character. Let me look real quick. It doesn't say. I feel like he's within the past 10 years. I used to be a pretty big comic book reader. I've tapered off, but I'll catch back up every now and then. I'm a few years behind. But let's see here. Let's refresh this, see if it says anything different. So, hey, it says I've mastered it, and it's got a little golden glow. Isn't that cool? Oh God, you can reset all progress. No thank you. I don't want to do that. I forgot. Yeah, so this is a little more open and put together than Xbox and PlayStation achievements. So you can reset achievements if you want to earn them again. If you want the challenge, or I guess if you want to stream them. But yeah, I got a little crown. So that's the first game I've quote-unquote mastered. I want to go through and play some more. I guess my plan is to actually... these Marvel games, I guess I know the best. So let me switch back here. So as you can see, I've got a collection. Not all... Well, Marvel 3 and Infinite, they're new. They don't have retro achievements. They just have normal achievements through Steam or whatever system you play it on. But I thought of going back to Children of the Atom and just work my way up chronologically. You know, up until Marvel 2. I can go through Children of the Atom through Marvel 1 and try to get all the achievements. I don't think they're quite as time intensive as Marvel 2. That's kind of why I did that one first. That one just took forever because you had to unlock everything. As you can see here, like here's all the Marvel 2 achievements. So you have to unlock all the characters. If you're familiar with the original release of the game on Dreamcast, like you had to, well, even the arcade as well, you had to play the hell out of that game and put in the time to unlock everything. I would say the arcade was easier because that one was purely time-based, and Dreamcast was time-based, but you had to spend those points or you would just accrue points that didn't save. And I actually got this game day one, so I did legitimately do this like 20 years ago, and it was so annoying. And I even remember I lost my save file. I guess I lost the memory card. Maybe it got deleted. And I'm like, and I wanted to play this game. I'm like, I'm not unlocking everything again. And luckily at the time, the Dreamcast, well, it's got a 56K modem on it. And, you know, at the time I still had dial-up internet. So you could actually get on the internet with the Dreamcast directly. So I used my internet provider, dialed in with the Dreamcast, and went to GameFAQs, or GameFAQs.com, and downloaded a completed save file straight to the memory card, and that felt like the freaking future. And it also saved me from having to redo all of that unlock stuff. Let's see, use Hulk, Colossus, and Juggernaut. Funny enough, that let me look here. I'm pretty sure that was one of the achievements. Yeah, and that's Team Communism. Oh yeah, here we go. Team Big Guys. I did do that one. Says I did it on October 10th. Yeah, that one. It's hard with the computer because it reads your inputs, and those characters are so slow. So you got to be pretty good with them. Which, I mean, they are ridiculous if you know how to use them. Especially Juggernaut. You can glitch him in this game. If you do the power-up, and like he's got a power-up move where he flashes red and it gives him extra power and damage. You can power him up, tag him out, and then so his assist has that power-up attached to him. And if you nail them with like his punch or whatever, it does so much damage. But they're so slow. They're very hard to use. But yeah, I'm just kind of looking here. Let's see. I do still have my Dreamcast. I never sold any of my systems, or got rid of any of my games. There were a few. I'm trying to think back. I never really traded anything in. Because I'd play everything so long. By the time if I had any desire to trade them in, they weren't worth anything. So I just inadvertently just turned into a collector by default. And I bought a lot of stuff when the systems were dead. So like, same with my brother. I remember he got a TurboGrafx 16 when that system was dead. So he, before it was GameStop, we used to go to Software Etc. and they would clear things out. So he bought some bundle with like the TurboGrafx and all these games for like $100. I did the same with the 3DO. I still have it, and I still have the box too. I bought the 3DO when they were clearing them out. It came with however many. They would just like unofficially bundle games with them. Kind of like now, except they were affordable. They were trying to get the systems out the door. But yeah, I do still have my Dreamcast. Let me look. The cool thing, these apparently are kind of rare, that I do still have with my Dreamcast, is the arcade stick. So this is just a image here. So I actually got the Dreamcast fairly early on, but I only played fighting games, and the standard controller's terrible. And I got one of these, and I ended up getting a second one when they were clearing them out, because the Dreamcast did not have a long life. And I still have both of these. And the funny thing about these, or at least one of them, was I used these for years. That was like the only system I had in college. And I graduated in 2003, and that was the year, I think that was, well, maybe it was before, I can't remember. But when the original Xbox came out, it was out for about a year, and that's when they were like, oh hey, we're doing this thing called Xbox Live where you can play games online. And they announced, it was originally supposed to be Marvel 2, but I think something with the rights stopped them, so they're like, all right, well, we'll do Capcom versus SNK 2, which was the game I was playing all the time on the Dreamcast. And I was like, awesome. So I got CVS 2 on the original Xbox and some crappy joystick, which did not last long. It actually broke. Like the stick actually broke on me, and I couldn't use it. So what I ended up doing was I'd been modding systems and stuff, so I knew how to solder at that point. I got my Dreamcast joystick, this one here, opened it up and took the PCB out, and then put in and rewired, like soldered the buttons to the Xbox PCB, and I had to put a few extra buttons. So I actually went to Radio Shack back when they sold parts, and I can't point to the screen. Up here on the top, I like hot glued some crappy buttons for the missing Xbox buttons, just for, like, select and the menu stuff, and basically that was my first modded controller, and I used that on CVS2, and I played the hell out of that game. I was ranked fairly high on that. I wish I had a screenshot, whatever I topped out at. I know I was definitely in the top 500 on Xbox Live. I may have gotten in the top 100 at one point. Let's see. I do have Symphony of the Night. I'm not very good at it. I'm definitely no speedrunner, but I've played through it. It's one of those games I tried to get all the achievements on back in the day, so I've got it on 360, and I think I have every achievement except for the 200.6%. I couldn't get. There's some part of the castle I just cannot get, and I think I moved, and then I just never went back to it. I still have the save file. I need to try that again. I did beat Richter mode, which does, I guess that leads me into my favorite system. I guess I really like the 360. I may say that one's my favorite because it pretty much has everything. Like, if you're in the retro games, like, it's got pretty much all the big ones you want. Like, it's got Marvel 2. I'm just looking at my screen here. It doesn't have all of the Versus games. It's got Marvel Superheroes, Marvel 1, Marvel 2, Marvel 3. Does it have It does not have CVS 2 that I recall. But yeah, if I only had to have one, if I got stuck with one system, it probably would be the 360. I would say it's got pretty. PS3 might fit in there too. They have almost the same games. I liked the exclusives better on 360, but as far as like the re-releases and the retro games, PS3 had Marvel 2. It had most of the same fighting game releases, but I'm trying to remember. 360, it had a lot of Saturn and Dreamcast re-releases, so there were some Saturn games I didn't get to play. Guardian, make sure I'm not saying the name wrong. I'm drawing a blank. Guardian Heroes. Oops. I'm trying to look around the microphone here. Guardian Heroes. Is that it? Or is it Guardian Legends? Oh, yeah, Guardian Heroes. This was a Saturn game that it's a beat-em-up RPG, and it actually had a if you have the multi-tap, which I actually have, but I don't have the freaking game because it was so damn expensive by the time I was able to get it. But a lot of those unattainable Saturn games came out on the 360, so that's part of the reason I like the 360. I also hate the 360 because I have gone through so many of them. I probably have had more of the red rings of death than anybody I know. I used to have an exact count. I think it's 8 times. And now that they're cheap, I've collected a few. I think I do have, I mean, I still have it on my shelf here. I can't really get my camera around. I've got my 360 and my PS3 still on the shelf. But I have the Jasper 360. That was like the last of the fat model. And supposedly that one's the most reliable, and that's the one I've got everything on. I've got it upgraded beyond what it's supposed to be. I've got an external hard drive, a memory card, and an upgraded hard drive. So I've downloaded everything that'll fit onto it. Legitimately too, because I've had it for so long. Like I've got the 360. I never got the Xbox One, and I don't have the Series X. My brother has those. I have played them through him. And yeah, I do like Halo and Gears of War. I played, I played the first 3 Halos like crazy. And Gears of War 1 and 2, I played a ton. I really liked playing online with those. I kind of got busy and interest tapered off. I started Halo 4. I didn't really get into it, and well, I forgot about Halo Reach. I played Halo Reach a lot. I finished Gears 3. I don't know if I ever played online with it, or not a lot. I guess it goes up to Gears 5 now. I haven't played 4 or 5. I need to finish those. I'm pretty sure I own them. I just haven't played them. That's like my recurring story. Oh yeah, that red ring of death. I can't explain how infuriating that was. Because I had a day one launch 360, like by pure chance. I think I was in grad school at that point, and my brother, he happened to be around the game store. Like he'd come home from college, so he was at the game store in our hometown. He's like, hey, they still have a couple of 360s that haven't been claimed. Do you want me to grab it? And I'm like, sure. So I had a 360, and like no games were out. I think I played Project Gotham 3 or 4, whichever one came out with it. And it was like so short. I beat it in like a weekend. And so I pretty much played Halo 2 the whole time. But I got a red ring like way before it was a widely known thing. So I actually had to pay the money to fix my first red ring. I had to mail it in, and I think it was at least $80. It may have been like $130 to get it repaired. And then I think as mine was being repaired, they announced that they were going to do that free repair period. I think you had like 3 years. So luckily I got my money back on that first one. But I sent that system in 2 more times, I believe. I still have it. It's dead. Actually, I got one of the kits to repair it myself, but it got to the point like I just couldn't bring it back to life. And I got the Elite 360. That one red ringed a couple times. So actually right now, at least the working ones, I've got my Elite, I have my Jasper, I actually have a modded one. I've got a modded 360S. I really haven't messed with it much. The only reason I got a modded one was to get all of the, I used to have a bunch of friends and we'd play the Rock Band games, like parties. I still have the instruments in the room here with me, but they quit selling the DLC, and we didn't have it all. And the easiest way, I was like, it's like the modded 360s. Like nobody's doing that now, so I bought a modded cheap one just so I could load all the DLC onto it, and it's pretty much just a Rock Band party machine. And because beyond that, I really haven't messed with it. I used to actually actively mod the original Xbox, but by the time the 360 came around, I was out of the loop. And I think they're hard to do now because, I mean, the chips and everything, they're not as prevalent as they were. I mean, who's modding a 360? You can emulate most of the games now, or not most, but some of them will get to the point where they can be emulated. But so yeah, I mean, basically that's pretty much what I've been streaming lately. I chat a bit at the beginning, and I do these retro achievements. So now that one is mastered, we'll see what I do next. I might switch away from fighting games just to mix it up. I'll definitely come back and do those. I was in the middle of Super Mario Kart. I was playing that on my own. I played that a bunch as a kid, so I'm pretty sure I can get those achievements just from memory. Let's see. Microsoft knows how to build systems. You think Microsoft did it purposely to take people's money? I don't think they did it on purpose. There were actually a lot of issues in that same time period. Actually, my PS3, I got one of the last backward compatible units. I've got the Metal Gear Solid 5 one, or 4, whichever one it is. Whichever one that had that bundle. That was the last PS2 backward compatible one. And that one actually, it had the yellow light of death. That one died on me. Luckily, I found a guy online that could basically redo all the bad soldering on the board, and he brought that one back to life, and it's been fine for the past few years. Hopefully, it's good for a long time, because I do like my PS3. I've got I didn't really play the PS1 or PS2 when those were out, so I've gotten a lot of those games either digitally or used, and that's the only way I really play those. I guess I can emulate them all now, but yeah, the problem around that time period, I don't remember the exact story, but I think there was some kind of, it seemed like it was some kind of EPA thing. I may be mistaken, but it was like, I think it was some kind of EPA thing where they had to reduce the amount of lead that was in solder that was, being produced for manufacture. So like the 360 was a big problem, and the PS3 was a problem, and some of the Apple MacBooks were a problem too around that same time frame. Something about the composition of the solder they used is what caused all those things to fail. So that's why, like, people would put their 360 in the oven or whatever, and it would basically remelt the solder and repair those broken connections. There was I think some graphics cards around the same time. It was just, I think it was an industry-wide thing. It was just that the 360 was the most prevalent thing that got affected. But yeah, there was definitely MacBooks, and the PS3 had the same issue. And that could have been a reason why they switched the PS3 to the slim model or something. I don't really know. But it's pretty late here. I think I'm going to call that a stream. And I may be back on tomorrow. Let me play some games. Talk a little more. But thank you for everybody that joined on Twitch. Everybody that joined on YouTube. Damn, so unlucky. Did you buy the systems on first day? I did buy the 360 day one. PS3 I got later, but I think all of the, from what I understand, all of the fat PS3s run that risk of getting the yellow light. And I'm glad I fixed mine when I did, because I don't see anybody offering that service anymore. Like, they have to go through with like a special tool, if I understand correctly, and just repair like all the bad. I guess they know which common joints fail. I remember the same places would repair the MacBooks at the same time too. But yeah, you gotta have like a magnifying glass and a solder machine, because it's too small to do by hand, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not aware of anybody doing that anymore. Somebody may still be, but no, it's not. There were people just on eBay like offering those services back then. So if this PS3 dies, I think I'm out of luck. But luckily, through emulation, most of that's, preserved now. PS3 is pretty well emulated. Not 100%, but I think most of the big stuff, it'll continue to get better. The 360, it's finally coming along. I think it's partially emulated, so I think it'll be there soon. And honestly, those are just so hard to emulate because they're PowerPC. So once those are emulated, I think the current systems are just like the PS4, PS5, and the newer Xboxes. They're just PCs, so it's being very reductive. But I don't think it'll be such a chore to emulate those versus the other ones. But I'm going to call that a stream for tonight. I got to go to bed, and I will stream some more tomorrow probably. Let's see, can you fix systems and handhelds? I do repair a lot of stuff. I've repaired computers primarily. I've fixed various things. It depends. I mean, the older they are, generally the easier they are. I've fixed plenty of original Nintendos. It's usually the cartridge pins, and that's not too hard to fix. It's really just a matter of reading and taking things apart. I've kind of gotten to the point where stuff's getting too hard. Like, I'm not taking apart any more iPhones. They're too hard now. Same thing with the laptops. I've fixed some of the newer MacBooks, the last of the Intels. They are a nightmare. I do not want to fix any more of those. But I've never had to do anything like super complicated. It's like, do any micro soldering or anything. The laptop I use right now, one of the USB-C ports is crapped out on me, and I think I have to micro solder to fix it. Oh, how much do I charge? It depends. I mean, it's been a really long time since I fixed stuff for, a fee or people. I've mainly, now it's mainly my old stuff. I have a bunch of old computers I want to go through and fix, like Apple IIs, like 1980s computers. And, luckily, stuff that old's pretty easy to fix. You don't have to get a magnifying glass and tweezers to take everything apart. It's pretty big components on pretty large, usually one-sided boards. Those are primitive compared to now. DS. I've never taken apart a DS. I have one. I actually still have it. It's on the shelf back here, but I've never had an issue, so I've never taken those apart. It's not hard to learn now, though. If you ever want to, try it yourself. The best resource, here, I'll put it in the chat, honestly, is iFixit. You don't have to buy the materials off of them, but they generally have guides that fix everything you can think of. Not always everything, but I found some pretty obscure stuff on there. I mean, hell, even cars. I've worked on my car through some iFixit stuff before, but computers and game systems, they generally have everything covered. Controllers and stuff like that. If you search it, a lot of times they'll have a video and common issues. And a lot of times you can just buy the parts on the website, although I wouldn't recommend that. They usually don't have the best prices, but sometimes they may be the only place you can get it. But, all right. I appreciate everybody watching. I'm going to go to bed. I may see you all tomorrow. And take it easy. We'll do some more